Hey everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel, Foxhound Finance. I've been waiting for a while now to make this channel, share my thoughts about what I see in the market. So if you're into technical analysis type trading, market trends, and exploring trading ideas, well then you're in the right place. First things first, I'm not a financial expert. I'm not going to pretend to be a financial expert. Just somebody who loves diving into stock charts, looking at patterns. Part of human behavior, I think, is recognizing patterns. And so, sort of instinctually, combining that with technical analysis, I like to spot patterns, just share my thoughts on the potential moves in the market that may happen. Uh, the channel is really all about just that, discussing stocks, crypto, my trading strategies from a personal perspective. And again, not financial advice. It's just my take. Okay? You can really expect just breakdowns of trending stocks, deep dives in the chart setups, my thoughts on where things might be headed next. So today, as you can see, we're kicking things off with the channel with a look at Rivian stock. So let's jump right in. And to be honest with you, I actually sort of stumbled upon this chart accidentally. I mean, I had it in my watch list over here just from probably the past. But what I noticed is a very particular pattern, very similar to Robinhood. Okay? So if you look at Robinhood, you can see right here it IPO'd $85 and essentially immediately it came all the way back down, just crashing down immediately. And you had this sideways, or as us technical traders call it, this consolidation, accumulation from the Wyckoffean perspective here. Okay, you had your 681 low, and then you just sort of chop traded up and down until it broke. So clearly you can see the same situation here that I'm looking at for potentially Rivian. I mean, almost following this similar structure. So you have the crash down, you have the sideways movement, and then now you see what's going on with Robinhood today. I mean, nearly hitting its all-time high. It probably will blow past this level, $85. But I want to go back and show you what I'm seeing here with Rivian without beating a dead horse here. So again, same thing, you crash down and distribute all the way down, and you've hit this low of $8.26 here in April of last year. So by April this year, 2025, you would have about a year here in between of accumulation. But if you go back again and we look at Robinhood real quick, we can see that from the low point, 6/17/2022, it took about what here? Let's see, a year and a half till it really started taking off. You're talking about February 2024. Okay, so we'll say 2 years roughly, ish. Okay, so if it took about 2 years, let's just say it's following somewhat of a similar structure from the low point, 2 years, and then you really start to climb back up over all these levels here, these breakdown levels, and I'll show you what I mean in a second. Then you may see something similar for Rivian. I mean, from 179 down to a $8.26 low, currently sitting around $14. I don't know how much more you can drive this stock down, honestly. And so what I like to do is let's just look at some of the weekly levels real quick and just see what we can find here. So let's go here and let's just pop up some levels real quick. Some just topping points where the stock broke down. Okay, and we are doing this on a weekly right now, so let's spread it out a little bit. Let's do some bigger gaps here real quick. We have a big wick over here, so we're starting to see where things get interesting to a degree. We have one right here, and then you have some gaps up here, but let's just keep it simple real quick. Okay, this is all the way to $70 right now, what I just painted here on the chart. Okay. Let's turn on the EMAs as well, our indicators. It's one thing I like to use when I'm trading. Where are my guys at? EMA, And I want to turn on, I don't want to turn the Bollinger Bands on just yet, but let's see the RSI. Let's turn the RSI off real quick. I'm going to just keep it simple. Simple, stupid. Okay. Here's your 200 EMA. We're on the weekly right now. So you can already see that these moving averages have collapsed pretty heavily. On the weekly, it looks still like there's some room that this can go sideways, maybe for a little while before climbing up to it. As this comes down and the price action meets the 200 EMA, you could start to see that climb up, and then these start to bend upward like other stocks that I'm going to show you with similar patterns. So it could play out a little bit longer before bending up and the EMAs catching up and sort of crossing over the 200, some of the lower moving averages. Right now I have them set at some wacky ones, like there's like 5, 10, 20, 40 EMA and 100. But let's just, for the sake of the video, let's go to the daily. Okay, one thing about the 200 EMA that's important to know, if you don't know this already, is that when the price action closes above the 200 moving average, it is signaling a very strong bullish run could be coming, okay? Or at least a, we'll say, initial push above some of these resistance levels like the 1665. Maybe it crosses this. If we can get another close, I mean, this is already well closed above the 200 EMA right here. If you could get a nice, push up over this level, I mean, look at what you're starting to go into. You're going to go into the $18-ish territory, and then from there, what, 24 bucks? There's not much to cross in between here historically, okay? So you're already seeing, even from like an options standpoint, if you're like, I just want to put a call in for like 25 bucks or something or whatnot, you might have a chance at even just hitting that if this is not ready to fully climb throughout all the levels, okay? But still, even from just a short-term standpoint, there's still some money, I think, to be made, given what levels are here and given that this is already closed above the 200 EMA. This candle's already closed. I mean, and you have the bands, the EMA bands are all tight here, okay? So your moving averages, you see here, look how gapped they are, okay? They're collapsing down, and then you have the rebound, right? And you think, oh, okay, we're finally ready to go up. It comes back down one more time, it looks like. They curl back down. You failed to break this level of 1665. You came up, touched it, bounced all the way back down, and actually came underneath the full, almost pretty much every EMA band available on my chart at least. So you crashed down underneath those, and now you rebounded up pretty quickly. I mean, look at how fast this recovered. Boom, come down. Okay, time to come back up, and then you have this huge back-to-back candle. Huge back-to-back candles, I'd say, and very strong close above. And already, look at this. You can see that, where's my purple band? What is this, like the little 5-day is already crossing over. The 10-day looks like it wants to cross over. You can see these two smack dab in the middle. The 20, the 40, all are curling up now. And the price action's up here already, so it's pulling them across the 200. So when that happens, you get that crossover, you could be seeing a push. And maybe it is the start of the stair-stepping, sort of like I said back here with Robinhood. Okay? Maybe it's sort of similar. Maybe it's maybe we are at this point where it's time to start moving in another direction as the bands start to sort of curl up over, and you start to use them as like those, like I said, stair steps over the moving averages, right? They're acting as support now, and you're bouncing. So similar to how Robinhood worked out, I mean, even like here, look at this. You saw that the price action closed above almost, pretty much all the bands there, and then rebounded up, and then now using them as sort of like a trampoline for price action. Even the nasty dips right here, I mean, look at what it's bouncing off of. So basic trading terms, I mean, that's what you look for, is for this to finally reverse to the upside, even if it's in a slow fashion like this. Like if I could just draw mini hills here, like, you could just see it. I mean, it's just, that's what it's doing here. And again, like I said, this is almost ready to go to all-time highs, it seems like. You go to Carvana. This is one of the ones that you like kick yourself for, but they were about to be bankrupt, okay, back around this time. what is it, $3.55. They were struggling, and they restructured their debt. Okay, they restructured the debt, pushed it out, and I think the last couple of quarters they've been making positive earnings, 20, 30 million in sales or something like that in the last few quarters. So now you see this rebound. Okay, but down here again, it was the same kind of thing. It's like crashed down. Not that it IPO'd here, but let's just be real. This right here, if you just took this right here, this part of this structure, and followed this pattern down, boom, you get the crash down, similar thing like a waterfall. All the EMAs are falling with the price action until you go ahead and flatten out, you hit your low, and then you go side to side until the price action finally says we're going to break above the 200 EMA, and we're going to hold above the 200 EMA. Even if it didn't hold here, it broke slightly below, and then boom, reclaimed it, goes back over. And there you go again. You have your hills, boom, boom, boom. And they just go all the way back up, sort of back here, retracing those levels like I said. So when I'm drawing this out, it's pretty simple. It's like, okay, can we get back above this? Can we go ahead and get back above this? I mean, look at how drastic the drops are, okay? I mean, this is very basic, simple stuff. This is not like rocket science here. And you have all of the tools that you need to identify this kind of stuff. So it's all about, when are we done here with the flat portion of this entire chart? If it's not going bankrupt, you can only be at these lows. I mean, this is a 99% drop or something crazy. So if you drop down 99% and your stock's not going bankrupt, and then you're pushing debt out for 3 or 4 years, then what option is there? And then you start making money, even if it's a couple million or whatever it is, 20, 30 million, which isn't huge. Let's be real. It's not huge. It's not like they're making billions, but still, that alone, like, are you serious? 355 to 286 now? That's what I'm talking about with Rivian. And I know Rivian's not Tesla or nothing like that, but it's the same situation almost here. It's like, here you go. I mean, this is nuts. This is 179, and we're sitting down here at $14. Do we really think this is going to crash below $8.26? I mean, from a chart perspective, there's really no reason for this to go any further. Okay, it looks like it already kind of felt out where it needed to be, what price levels it needed to be. Like, once you get this here, you pretty much know the range now. And I said worst case scenario is that could you come up here? I mean, this is nuts. Like, would you really retest this level right now and come immediately back down to 826? I guess from the broader market perspective, it's possible. But does it make sense that you just went through this, like, you almost double bottomed here? So the fact that you went all the way up to 16, come back down, you have a higher low at 1187. You didn't come back to even 954. Here's the scary part. 826, 953, 1194. Higher lows are forming. Let's bounce back. I'm taking you back and forth here. If we go back to Robinhood, I want to show you something. This is where it gets interesting. 681, I think, right? 681. We come up here to 750-ish, 740-ish or something like that. And then next level over here, 790 or something. So between these 2 points, it's pretty minimal. It's like 40 cents or something, but higher low forming. 681, 750, 790 something, $8, whatever. And after that next higher lows in, you start to really blow up in a big way. Okay, you start to really move above all the averages. So let's just pay attention to that. I mean, that's like, for me, it's just like simple pattern recognition right there that I'm seeing. $8. Okay, bouncing up. It looks like, okay, 960. Okay, and now, yeah, right here, 826, 950-ish, and then look at where it bounced already, 1186. I mean, this looks like now it's ready to start to form either its next leg up type of situation where maybe it's going to build a new range, but this is something maybe to look at, to get into as an opportunity, Because if you have the potential to start getting in here at this 14 bucks range, and even let's just say, okay, if it does crash down, let's not be crybabies here and go, oh my gosh, like it went back down to $8. Listen, that's nothing. If you cycle your investment in, right? Even if it was 14, if you had to buy the low here, are we really complaining about a $8 differential, right? When literally this stock was at $179 from a chart perspective. So are we mad about having to like bounce back and forth and potentially average in here? I don't think so. You know, personally, my opinion, I don't think so. Again, not financial advice, but I think that's not a big deal. It could be worse. If I said, yeah, guys, up here, jump in, it's like, you know, around 120, and then it does that, well, okay, that's a different story. That's like, oh, man, that sucks. But to be in this range, I don't think it's a big deal. I mean, I think that there's probably the potential of more big moves to the upside, similar to like Robinhood and Carvana, than there is for you to go like that. You know how crazy that would be to go down below this? I mean, like, I don't know. Especially with the 200 EMA being that close to the price action. The fact that the 200 EMA is down here, it's telling you that this thing is pretty much pancaked out. There's not much more that you can do from 179 down to that level. So it's something that I've just been paying attention to. There's a lot of stocks like this out there that are starting to get their glory finally, get their shine, because the market is pretty much topping out, right? We have SPY heading to like, what, 620-ish? and may even go further than that. But we all know that the market is sort of cyclical, right? It is cyclical, not even sort of, it's cyclical. And these like smaller cap, I don't want to say no-name stocks, but ones that are under the radar that no one's paying attention to, these are the ones that people complain about that they didn't get into. Because they go, oh man, I wasn't even paying attention. That's what I'm looking for, okay? Is when you're seeing the indicators all line up and you're seeing something that's pretty much pancaked out here, higher low, higher low. Those are pure indicators of this thing turning around now. And even if it's bullshit, even if the news doesn't line up, even if the company earnings doesn't line up, that doesn't matter. If you see Carvana, do you understand that they still have $3.5 billion in debt and that they're not making enough money to cover the debt, even if it is stretched out? So you're telling me that based on their earnings, that when they're at $3.55 in this short time frame, do you really think this stock's worth $286? I don't. But it's the simple fact that there's really almost like a pre-planned algorithm here or something going on with it, because it's like none of that makes sense on paper. Even if the market is forward looking, I don't know if it's this forward looking. This percentage gain from here is like what, 4,000, 5,000%? Something more is going on with that. So just pay attention to these ones that are out here. Rivian was my first one I wanted to go over today. There's going to be more that I'm going to share, but I wanted to put you guys onto this because this is one that could be a big difference maker in your portfolio, even if you just get in and get out of it. Again, not financial advice, just telling you that, look at it. Maybe from your angle, maybe you have your own style of trading, but this is something that I'm very, very interested in, and I will continue to watch to see what happens next. So again, guys, welcome to the channel. I really appreciate you guys stopping by and hanging in there with me. I'm going to try to make them a little bit shorter if I can, but there was so much to cover there. I had a lot of ideas that I really wanted to share with you today, especially comparing them to Robinhood and the Carvana situation, because again, the pattern is just like it. I was cycling through them just like I was showing you, just like this, and I popped it open and it was like right like this, and I'm like, wait a minute, what the heck? And I really thought it was Robinhood that I clicked on, because I've been watching Robinhood too. In the beginning of the video, I had like a purple indicator over here, and that's when I truly started watching Robinhood and started like trading it. And then this happened over here. So I was like, I started looking over here going, yeah, this is going to go up this way, but like in a ginormous bull fashion. And sure enough, that's what you got. You know what I mean? You got this huge bull that formed So I was clicking through them, and I accidentally clicked on Rivian. I'm like, okay, I was like, oh, here's Robinhood, but I was like, wait a minute, where's Robinhood? Like Robinhood isn't down here, and it was literally the same. It's like the same bull structure, and so I don't know how this one could play out. Could it play out super fast? It could just go and just go up, but uh, it's all going to depend on the broader market. Like when this market tops out, could this be another, what I say, 2 years for Robinhood? It could be another year of it and then finally popping and going berserk. I don't know. There's a lot of different scenarios. Just because they look the same doesn't mean they have to play out with the same speed. Okay? So keep that in mind. I would watch some of these key indicators though. I didn't even, shit. I didn't even put the Bollinger Bands on, but that was another key point I wanted to make. I knew I was missing something here. Really fast. I go back to my Bollinger Bands. I want to pop those on. Look at this. Got a nice poke out here of the Bollinger Band. Didn't close above it, but these Bollinger Bands are also indicative of where this direction's going. Okay, you got the push above here, we'll say, right? And not only did you come above the top of the Bollinger Band, but you touched this level here, the 1665 that I got here, and then you came underneath of it, and look, you crashed pretty much down. You touched a lower band sideways, and then you're already bouncing. I mean, for me, that seems pretty extreme. That's like, what is this, 30 days? And it just is ready to go again that soon? Whereas before you touch the bands, look at this. Before you touch the top of this Bollinger Band back here, you come crashing down through everything. Through the bottom band a little bit here, yeah, you reclaim it, but then you go underneath all the moving averages. The bands start to drop heavily. And then you have your, what do you want to call this? Like your second low, your second higher low. So that's just for me something I'm like, look at how long that was. Okay, from this breaking point, 7/18/2024, and like you didn't rebound truly until this point here, which again, look at this. What are you touching? The 200 daily moving average. And what did you do? You rejected off it then. And it's starting to get really clustered in here now. So let me stop bullshitting here. July 2024, you did not really rebound for another run up until that point here. November 2024. So what is this? 6 months? No. August, September, October. No, 4 months. 4 months of it breaking down before coming back. And even then, breaks down, boom, coming right back. Touch it again, break down. Touch it again, break down, and then here you go again. So could you, I guess if we don't get a candle above this on maybe like Tuesday, Wednesday, sometime this week, it's very possible you could even like trade maybe sideways within it. But for me, it's got to be pretty much one direction or the other like it was here. You know, if you can't really keep the price action going above the band, and it's going to break down then. Let's just say that. Okay, if you can't close above this band and keep it pushing, you're coming back down. But the simple fact is, like, okay, if you, let's just say we reject, what are we going to do? Come back down here and then go? Like, I don't know how much more you can stretch this thing out right here. Like, look at how tight the bands are and the moving averages together, clustered here. You pretty much have one direction, I think, that you can go at this point. I don't know if it would make sense to come back down to the, we'll say, second higher low, or even, like I said, back here to the $8 one. But you know what? This is the stock market. Anything can happen. So again, guys, I appreciate you stopping by, and hopefully you guys learn something or like take advantage of some of the stuff that I see, and also share your thoughts with me. Okay? So I'll keep posting my ideas here. This will be sort of my electronic diary. I really appreciate it, guys. I will see you guys in the next one, and if there are any changes, I will let you guys know. Okay? Thank you.